My sister borrowed $200,000 from me and went on a trip to Europe with her husband and his parents. 3 days later, she called me and shouted, "Stop this right now." My name's Jordan. I'm 35, a film director, the oldest child, the one who keeps the calendar straight when everyone else forgets what day it is. I live out of color-coded call sheets. My phone is full of scene notes, casting ideas, and voice memos of me reminding myself to breathe. I don't drink on set. I don't miss deadlines. And if you hand me a problem at 2 a.m., I will quietly solve it before sunrise. My sister, Megan, is 2 years younger. She calls me Hollywood like it's an insult. Married to a guy named Ryan, who wears loafers without socks and says, "networking" every third sentence. Their group photos always have identical smiles and expensive counters behind them. Marble, quartz, whatever's trending. The night it started, I was at Mom's house picking up a box of old Super 8 reels, Dad's. I promised to digitize them. Mom was fussing with a pie that didn't need fussing. Megan and Ryan were at the table, thumbs moving like they were paid by the swipe. The TV played a travel show about Lake Como. Everyone pretended not to watch it, but the room kept glancing up like the screen was pulling strings. Megan didn't look up when I walked in. "Jordan," she said, bored tone, still on her phone. "You're late again." I checked my watch. I was 15 minutes early. "I'm on time." She smirked at Ryan. "Directors. Time is a suggestion to them." "Funny," I said. "I brought Dad's old reels." Mom smiled like the word Dad was a draft she needed to fix. "That's nice, honey." We sat. There was static in the air. Megan reached for the salad, wrists stacked with bracelets that clicked like they were keeping score. She set the bowl down and finally looked at me. "You'll be glad to know we figured out your role," she said. "My role? In the family?" She shrugged. "You direct. We live. You invest in futures like ours, and in return, you get to feel useful. That's the win-win." Ryan laughed. "He's the structure. We're the story." My fork paused halfway to my mouth. The room went quiet. The show on TV filled the silence with soft piano music and blue water. Mom cleared her throat. "Don't start," she said to me, like I was the one who just assigned myself a job nobody offered. "I'm not starting," I said. Megan leaned back, eyes steady. "Good. Because this is how it's going to be from now on. Jordan, less resistance." There was a second where I thought I'd misheard. But she held my gaze, and I felt that small snap inside, like a thread breaking. I didn't say anything smart. I didn't throw a fit. I put my fork down, folded the napkin, and said, "Okay." Nobody moved. Megan smiled like she'd landed a plane. Somewhere on TV, someone dived into a bright lake. Somewhere in my chest, a door closed. I took the reels and left. The backstory. I was 12 when Dad handed me the first camcorder. He'd been laid off that month, so we didn't go out to eat. We ate grilled cheese, watched movies, and talked about shots, why some scenes felt true. When he died, the camera came to me like a baton in a relay nobody else wanted to run. I took night classes. Shot awful commercials. Weddings for people who said, "Make us look like a film." Every check went to rent, equipment, or paying down student loans that turned my 20s into a long hallway with fluorescent lights. Megan didn't do hallways. She did skylights. New phones. New trips. New reasons. And I was the fix. Paid her deposit when her first apartment needed 3 months up front. Covered Ryan's bridge month when he left a job to launch something that never launched. Dentist bill. Car repair. Another dentist bill. Each time, blonde smile, "Just this once. You're amazing. We'll pay you back." Mom fed the script, "Your sister isn't built like you. You're strong. You'll be fine." Translation, "You recover fast, so you can take the hit." When my first feature premiered, Megan missed the screening for a yoga retreat. Sent a heart emoji and a voice note, "So proud. Also, can you float me for 2 weeks?" I did. Of course I did. The boring part, that matters. Spreadsheets. Tax folders. Line items. The IRA I opened with $50 auto deposits. the production LLC with its own account, so I wouldn't blur my money with investor money. The habit of photographing every receipt like it mattered. Because it did. In January, I sold a script. The kind of deal with milestones, deliverables, and a wire that made me sit down when the notification hit. Part earmarked for crew bonuses on a brutal indie I just wrapped. Part for a down payment on a small house near the studio, so I could stop living out of boxes. The rest, cushion. A thing I'd never had. I called Mom. She said, finally, like I'd graduated from useful to very useful. 2 weeks later, Megan invited us all over. Big roast. New candles that smelled like old money. Ryan was already pouring glasses when I arrived. He clinked mine. To family ventures, he said. Red flag. But I set it down gently. We ate. Small talk. The travel show was on again. Lake Como's water looked like a screensaver. Megan waited until the plates were stacked, then put her phone face down like she was about to deliver a TED Talk. So, she said, we're going to Europe. Mom clasped her hands. How lovely. With Ryan's parents, Megan added. They've never been. It'll be life-changing. A bonding experience before the next chapter. Next chapter, I said. She shrugged. We're trying this summer. So it's kind of now or never for a long trip. Mom's eyes flicked to me, like I was the one signing the permission slip. I'm happy for you, I said. I meant it. Sort of. Megan breathed in. All theatrics. We're a little tight, though. There it was. Ryan stared at the ceiling like finances were a weather pattern he couldn't control. How tight? I asked. Megan laughed too brightly. Not tight. Just, flights are insane, and hotels in August are, you know. Mom jumped in. Your sister deserves something nice. You work all the time, Jordan. You never even use your vacation days. I stared at them. My pocket buzzed. Production text. Schedule change. Under it, a PayPal request from Megan. Caption, deposit. I didn't open it. How much? I asked again. Megan twirled a bracelet. We'll pay you back as soon as we're back. It's not even a loan, more like a temporary transfer. Temporary? Ryan echoed. How much? Megan inhaled like she was about to dive. 200. I blinked. 200, what? She blinked back. Innocent. 1,000. The room tilted. My brain separated syllables like I was editing dialogue. TWO. HUNDRED. THOUSAND. I laughed. Actually laughed. No, I said. Mom. Jordan. Don't be cruel. Cruel. Megan set her phone upright, screen black like an eye. We know you can. It's your role. My jaw locked. I stood, grabbed my jacket. I can't. And I won't. Megan's mouth twisted. Wow. Money changed you. I walked out. My hands shook on the drive home. I tried to breathe through it. Stupid, simple breaths. 2 days later. Tuesday night. I opened my banking app to schedule crew bonuses. The number stared back. Less. So much less. My thumb went cold. 2 transfers. Same day. External transfer. Memo. Travel. External transfer. Memo. Family support. Fine print. Linked devices. Existing authorization. I froze. Went to passwords. Phone. Laptop. Tablet. I'd removed every trusted device except my own. Then I saw it. Authorized user added. Platinum. I scrolled the vault of scanned papers. There, buried after casting agreements, was a PDF labeled Help Megan Mom. A power of attorney form. From 2 years ago. Vancouver shoot. Mom's house scare. I'd filled it out temporarily so she could sign a property tax thing while I was in the air. We'd never canceled it. I called Mom. She answered on the second ring, breathless. Don't you dare raise your voice at me. I didn't say anything. Where's Megan? Don't you speak to your sister like she's a criminal. Where is she? Packing. Their flights in the morning. I stared at the wall. You used my form. It's family, she said, like the word was a key that unlocked every door. It's theft, I said. Silence. Then a soft cluck. You'll get it back. Don't be dramatic. $200,000. Temporary. Less resistance. A black screen like an eye watching me sit very still. That night, I didn't sleep. At dawn, I made coffee I didn't drink. Opened the shared photo album Mom insists on for birthdays. New upload, Megan's boarding pass under a glass of airport champagne. Caption, CCO responsibilities. Then Ryan's photo, 4 passports on a marble counter. Megan's. His parents. Fanned like a prize hand. I stared until my eyes stung. Then I turned my phone landscape and started taking screenshots. 3 days later. Phone rang while I was blocking a scene. Unknown number. European country code. Sent to voicemail. Rang again. Then Megan's name with a FaceTime request. I stepped away from the lights. Answered audio only. Her voice hit like cold water. Jordan, stop this right now. I'm working. Turn it off. Whatever you did, undo it. Be specific. Her breath came fast. The card doesn't work. The hotel says the payment reversed. The flight home, there's a hold. Ryan's parents are in the lobby and everyone's staring at us like we're scammers. I leaned against a wall, stared at a dent where a stand had kissed the paint last week. Right. Jordan, she hissed. Mom said you'd be reasonable. This is humiliating. I sent documentation to the bank, I said. Fraud affidavit. The POA is revoked. Also, police report filed. You filed with the police? Are you insane? I kept my voice level. A lawyer's looped in. Megan, you signed internal transfers out of an account you had no right to touch using a power you never had. We'll let the bank sort it. You're taking this too far, she snapped. You don't want this to get ugly. Ryan's dad knows people. We can make this very complicated for you. Megan, I said. You already did. Silence. Then the switch to manipulation, like a gear change. What about the baby? She asked quietly. We told you. We're trying. Stress isn't good. Do you want to be the reason? Don't, I said. Do not put a pretend baby between my money and your trip. She sucked in a breath. Wow. You really are heartless. I took my phone off my ear. Looked at her name glowing green like an alien signal. Put it back. The crew bonuses go out Friday, I said. The guys who worked nights in the rain, they're getting paid. The house closes in 2 weeks. My attorney will be in touch about a repayment plan and the criminal side. I'm also freezing anything with my name on it that you touched and notifying every lender who added you without my consent. You're ruining us, she said. Over what? Over a family trip. Over $200,000 of my money, I said flat. Over a lifetime of you expecting me to fix your choices. Ryan's voice cut in the background. Put him on speaker. Then louder, Jordan, buddy. Don't call me buddy, I said. Look, clearly there's been a misunderstanding. We'll pay you back when we refinance. I laughed once. It sounded ugly. When you refinance what? Your vibes, Jordan. Megan, crisp now, stop the chargebacks. Stop the report. We'll wire something today. Send it to my attorney. Jordan. She tried again. Soft. Hollywood. It used to be a joke that stung. Now it was just noise. I have to get back to set, I said. This conversation is over. You'll regret this, she snapped. Mom will never forgive you. Then I guess we're all finally being honest, I said and hung up. I stood in the quiet corridor with a roll of gaffer tape at my feet and the smell of paint and cheap coffee in the air. I could hear my first AD calling for a reset. Somewhere down the hall, an actor ran lines under his breath. I walked back in, nodded at camera, and said, "From the top." The fallout. Bank froze everything with my name faster than expected. Fraud department. Red flags. Hold codes. POA revoked in a conference room where my lawyer used phrases like egregious breach and unauthorized enrichment. I asked if we had to go nuclear. He looked at the numbers and said, "You're already in the mushroom cloud." Mom left 8 voicemails the first day. 1 to 3, anger. 4 to 6, bargaining. 7 to 8, martyr voice. I saved them all. Didn't reply. On set, I was steady in a way that scared me, like directing on a cliff ledge. Your feet feel the edge, but your hands still draw the same straight lines. I watched dailies at midnight. Sent crew bonuses Friday. One grip texted a photo of a rent receipt with "thank you" and a heart. I stared at it like proof humanity still made sense. Megan's Instagram went quiet. Ryan's parents' account did not. A post from an anonymous account in my DMs, photo of them at a front desk, faces blurred. Text overlay. When your luxury plan meets reality. I didn't share it. I don't do public humiliation. I needed my money back and my boundaries to mean something. My lawyer drafted a repayment schedule with teeth. Accountants put the numbers in a table that looked boring, until you realized each cell was a month of someone else's entitlement. Interest. Defaults. Consequences. He CC'd Megan and Ryan. Ryan replied 3 minutes later. We won't sign anything until we talk like adults. Family shouldn't involve lawyers. Megan, 5 minutes later. A paragraph about love and duty and how I'd forgotten where I came from. I wrote back one line. You can address counsel. That afternoon, the family group chat lit up. Aunties. Cousins. People who hadn't congratulated me on my film but suddenly had opinions about my heart. Theme, blood. As if blood was a contract I'd signed in my sleep. I muted the thread and went for a walk. Pigeons fought over a croissant. A man yelled at a parking meter. Life kept being exactly what it is. That night, Mom called from a blocked number. I answered because I'm still me. She started with a sigh. You've made your point. It's not a point. It's a boundary. Semantics. They're stranded. They're in Italy with 2 sets of parents. They're not stranded. She clicked her tongue. You've always been so cold. Mom, I said, voice even. I paid Megan's rent 3 times. Covered Ryan's business launch. Bought tires for their car because they were dangerous. Sent cash when they lost a wallet. Let a temporary POA linger because you asked me to. I am tired. Silence. Then the line went quiet in that specific way. Tears. I closed my eyes, leaned my head back against the wall. You'll ruin the relationship, she said finally. It was already broken, I said. I'm just not pretending it isn't. My DP left a coffee on my chair with a note, for whatever they took. He didn't mean the money. I went to look at a house. Nothing special. White paint. Crooked hallway. Backyard the size of a film trailer. Realtor talked about entertaining. I pictured a folding table with script pages, a lamp, quiet. I put in an offer. Didn't tell anyone. Megan texted at 2:17 a.m. I'm sorry. A minute later. Asterisk, can you call me? I stared until my eyes hurt. Put the phone face down. Fell asleep for the first time in weeks. The next morning. Lawyer forwarded a wire transfer. First chunk. Not all. Nowhere close. But some. Came with a signed agreement. Minimum monthly amounts. Collateral. Vehicle. Non-retirement brokerages. I didn't gloat. Didn't reply to Megan's apology. Let the document be the conversation. Friday. Group chat turned on itself. A cousin posted about accountability. An aunt. But family. Another. He said no. It was the strangest sensation. People arguing about me like I wasn't there. I closed the app. 2 days later. Megan swung by my apartment unannounced. I opened the door to her face. Tired, puffy, less curated. No bracelets. No smile. Can we talk? We are, I said, and stepped aside, because I was raised by the same woman who taught me to always offer water even when you wanted to throw the glass. She stood in my living room, looking small. I messed up. For a second, it sounded like truth. "You stole," I said. She nodded. Ryan said we could figure it out later. And Mom said you wouldn't miss it." She choked on her own sentence. "I'm sorry." I waited. People think apologies are a spell. They say the word and time rewinds. It doesn't. It just pauses. You still have to move. "We signed," she added. "We're paying. I sold some stocks. Dad, Ryan's dad. Whatever. I saw the transfer." She looked up, hopeful. "So, can you unfreeze the card? Just for groceries for a few weeks." I shook my head. "No." Her mouth tightened. I said I'm sorry. And I said no. She stared like I'd become a stranger. Maybe I had. Maybe that was the point. On her way out, she touched the boxes by my door. Books, a small lamp, the framed production still Dad took of me at 17 with a boom mic too heavy for my shoulder. "Are you moving? Soon. To where?" "Somewhere quiet." She paused like she might say something real. Then she didn't. She left. The door clicked. My apartment felt huge. Closure. People think closure is a speech. It isn't. It's a list you keep on your phone and actually follow. Closed the old savings account. Opened a new one with actual human eyes behind it. Removed every trusted device that wasn't mine. Double-checked Face ID was just my face. Deleted the ancient POA scan. Told my lawyer, no criminal charges for now. I didn't want to tie my next year to courtrooms. But one missed payment triggers all. I bought the crooked house. First night, takeout off a moving box, refrigerator humming like a shy animal. Tacked a call sheet to the wall by the door out of habit. Scene 1, morning. Scene 2, coffee. Scene 3, write something anyway. My brain kept waiting for my phone to explode, to shout me back into the role I used to play. It didn't. Texts came. Grip, bonuses saved my month. Editor, we're locked. Those messages felt like small, specific blessings. The kind you earn. Mom hasn't been by. We spoke once. She tried to reframe, it got out of hand. Misunderstanding. You could have handled it privately. I said, I did. You made it public. She said, you're cruel. I said, I'm consistent. When we hung up, I didn't cry. I made tea and trimmed an email. Because that's who I am when nobody's watching. Megan and I text sometimes. Logistics. Payments. A photo of a grocery list with budget on it. Hers, not mine. I didn't respond with a lesson. I'm done being a coach for people who don't show up to practice. I visit Dad's reel on my new shelf and say out loud, I did it. He doesn't answer. He never did. He just stood next to me while I tried. Somehow that's enough. Ryan sent a long apology email last week. It read like a legal document in a suit that didn't fit. Signed it with respect. I archived it. Respect isn't a paragraph. Respect is not touching what isn't yours. Respect is showing up when it's inconvenient and shutting up when it's time to listen. I saw a travel show last night while unpacking, Lake Como again. The algorithm knows I stared at those photos too long. The piano music was soft. The water was pretty. I didn't feel bitter. I didn't feel triumphant. I just felt here, in a house that's mine, with a lock that turns and a bank account that holds. I keep one rule posted on my fridge now. Printed in 14 points font like a script note. I am not your ATM. It's not cute. It's not a joke. It's a boundary. Simple. Blunt. Solid. Megan knows it. Mom knows it. I know it most of all. The moral. If you want the moral, it's boring, because good morals usually are. People will use you as long as you let them. They'll call it family. They'll call it love. They'll dress it in bracelets and soft words. And when you finally say no, they'll call you names, because their mouths have never practiced thank you without again attached. Say no anyway. Say it until the echo gets quiet. I'm Jordan. I direct things, shots, crews, my own life. The story I'm telling now has fewer characters but better lighting. The conflicts are honest. The budget is real. The last line is the only one that matters. I don't allow myself to be used anymore.